All right. Someone asked about tmux, and I love tmux, and I've used it a lot. So let's do it. This one is going to be a little bit tricky to narrate because tmux is all these keyboard shortcuts, um, and that are like Control B and then percent sign, and um, it's a little bit tricky, but we'll do our best. We'll see what happens. Um, so let's start tmux. Tmux is basically a tool that you can use to have multiple windows open in a terminal. You might wonder like why this is useful because like right now, for example, I'm using a GNOME terminal which has tabs, right? And in my day-to-day computer usage, I do not use tmux. I use my GNOME terminal tabs. But if I'm working on a server where I want to be doing the same thing, like lots of different things on the same server, I will often use tmux. So I find, and the other good thing about tmux on a server is that you can start a tmux session on the server and it'll kind of manage all your processes there and keep them running even if you log off the server. You'll notice that here there are a bunch of weird error messages and you might be like, Julia, what's up with that? What's up with that is that I have a very old .tmux.conf file that I have not looked at for probably 3 years, and 100% what has happened is that the version of tmux that I'm using doesn't support, I guess, these options in this file anymore. I don't know. I just pressed enter to make them go away. I guess ideally I would update my tmux.conf to not have those errors, but I have not done that. All right. So how do we use tmux? So tmux, like screen, has a like sequence, like a keyboard shortcut that you use to do everything. So the way it works is you'll do like Control B. So you'll hold down Control B and then type the thing that you want to do. So if you want to create a new, there are tabs at the bottom. So the first tab is fish, which is like my shell, right? And if I wanted to make, so maybe I'm running top in here, right? Let's just say. You can see I'm running Kazam, which is my screen recording software. Anyway, so let's say I want to open a new tab. I can do Control B and then press C, and then that'll create a new tab in tmux. So that's fine. But to me, that's not sort of the most exciting thing, because often when I'm logged into maybe a server, I might want to look at something side by side. So then I can do like Control B. I'm just typing out what I'm doing because I guess um, in the hopes that it'll be more obvious. So I'll do Control B percent sign, and percent sign, what it does is it splits the screen in half, um, and it lets you have two different sides to your screen, which is kind of nice. So I could like run top on one side, just like, well, I guess I can't really run top because I can't see it because my screen isn't wide enough because I made anyway. But I could run like, I don't know, dstat, which is this thing that shows me sort of like current system activity. And then I can switch back and forth, and that's with Control B, right arrow and left arrow. And I can also split the screen again if I want. I can split it horizontally. I do not remember how to do this because I only ever split my screen vertically. But we can look up how to do it really quick. tmux split screen vertically, and it's going to be Control B quotes. That's right. Um, yeah, like that. So now I have three parts of my screen, and I can switch between them by being like Control B and then using the arrow keys to move around. Okay. So that's that. And there, to get rid of that, I just press Control D, which exited my shell. I could also have done like exit, and then that closes that thing, and tmux moves to like take over the rest of the window. So that's nice. And then if I want to move between tabs, so let's say I want to go back to the previous tab where I was running top. I can do that with Control B, P, and N. So for previous and next. So I can kind of flip between them. And I can also open a new one. That was with a C again for create. So now I have these 3 different tabs that I can kind of move between. The other, I think that's almost everything I know about using tmux. Oh, the other thing that you can do is if you do Control B D for detach, that kind of puts that whole session that you've been working on in the background. And then if you do attach, that'll bring you back in where you left off, which is nice. You can also use tmux to share with other people. So you can have 2 people doing things in the same tmux. It can get a little chaotic, but I've done it before when I'm trying to like collaborate with someone where we're both trying to like maybe debug something on the same server. Like maybe I'll be in the tmux doing something and they'll be watching, or the other way around. So I find that useful. You might have noticed I did tmux-2. That's really because it's like this 256 color thing, and once upon a time in the distant past, my colors didn't work properly unless I did tmux-2. I don't even know if that's true anymore. It probably just works fine. Yeah, it works fine without it. I just got used to doing it for some reason. But it's not necessary. It doesn't seem. Okay. The other thing, I think the only other thing that is like kind of maybe important about tmux is, let's say I do a bunch of stuff and I want to scroll, because here, like if I try to scroll with my scroll wheel, it's not working. It does seem to be scrolling through my command line history, which is fine, but not helpful. And so if you want to scroll, you need to do this key combination where you're like Control B, left square bracket. Oh no, like that. So it's like Control plus B, and then you press that afterwards. So we'll do that. Did that work? Is it not working? That's definitely it. No? Is that not it? Weird. Okay, wait. Let me click sharp. But I swear I've done this 1,000 times. Scroll up. Yeah. Interesting. Let's also try this. Okay, cool. That does not work. It's like quite upsetting. Wow. Okay, maybe let's try set-g mouse on. And then will that allow us to do things? Oh man, I have so much stuff here. Okay, let's comment out literally everything in my.tmux.conf. And then close tmux. And maybe we'll make it work properly. Okay, great. So now, if I do some stuff, and I do Control B, yeah, okay, now if I do Control B and the open square bracket thing, it works properly. So I think I just had some nonsense in my .tmux.conf, because I don't really use it on my laptop. So I had some nonsense that wasn't making things work properly. But now I did Control B in that like open square bracket thing, and then it lets me move around. And I think, yeah. And then if we drew this set-g mouse on, that does not do anything that I understand. What is this supposed to do? Maybe this works? Nope. This is the thing. I always get confused about the scrolling stuff with tmux. And actually, I always just do the Control B, like open square bracket thing to scroll up. And tmux keeps, it doesn't keep like that much buffer. So like, let's say I do for I in, so let's say I print out a lot of stuff to my terminal. Oops. I'm using fish and not bash. Okay, yeah, so let's say I print out really a lot of stuff. And then when you try to go scroll up, you'll see that it only kept, I guess, 1869 lines of output. So and this is configurable, so you can make it keep sort of more back scroll in your terminal if you want to be able to scroll back further when you're looking at things. But I think those things, which is like how to split windows, how to create new ones, and how to like go back and forth between them, and how to scroll, I think that's everything I know about tmux.